Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the Evolution Now podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Terrance Johnson. As always, thank you so much for joining me. Before we get started, make sure you hit the like, comment, and subscribe and follow button. You can follow me on YouTube, Instagram, and also on TikTok. What are we going to get into today? Well, today's topic is how to not be mediocre, how to stop living a mediocre life. You know, prior to us doing this podcast, I was sitting here talking with my guys, and we were just having some general conversation about the state of the economy, the world itself, and why so many people tend to struggle when you have the internet available to you, when you have the stock market available to you. There's so much opportunity in this country, but unfortunately, many people just aren't aware of it. That's really what it comes down to. You know, there's a scripture in the book of Hosea 4:6 that says, "My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge." Let's really dive into that for a moment. A lot of people are being destroyed, not because they don't deserve success, they're not worthy of success, or they don't want to be successful. They simply lack the knowledge on how to be successful. School doesn't teach you how to be successful. School teaches you to go get a job. That's basically what school is going to do. Whether you have a professional degree or, you have a high school diploma, my mindset is simple. The world is not changing. The world has changed. We have AI coming online here. It's already online, ChatGPT, various other different forms of AI technology. In the next 10 to 15 years, 40% of jobs will be basically done by artificial intelligence. Now, that might seem a long way off, but think about your children or your grandchildren and the world that they're going to grow up in as opposed to yours. Now, what do? How do we stop being mediocre? Well, the deal is simple. You need knowledge. You need knowledge. I'm not telling you need to go get a 4-year degree and go $100,000 into debt and be on that rat race. But what I am telling you is, whether you call it a side hustle, improving your skills, self-development, whatever the case might be, you need to figure out what you're good at and then to see if I could monetize it. I would highly encourage anyone who's listening to me to definitely look into the market. Now, I'm not a financial advisor by any way, shape, form, or fashion. That's not what I do. But I do know enough to make the good decisions that will hopefully put me in a position later on down the road to where we do have financial security and stability, my wife and I, and we're not in our 60s looking to borrow money from our children, if you will. We don't want to put that burden on them, and we don't want to be a burden to anybody. So how do we stop being mediocre? Well, once you decide what you want to do, here's the next step. Once you decide, you got to give it your all. Once you decide to give your life to something, I want you to commit to it. If it's financial excellence, then commit to learning the stock market, commit to learning about CDs, commit to learning about trade, Forex, cryptocurrencies. I mean, this is the wealthiest nation in the world. There's no reason within the spectrum of common sense, if you will, for anyone to go through this life completely and utterly financially destroyed. And that doesn't mean that you can't start from the beginning and work your way up, because most likely that's what you're going to have to do. But what I want to encourage you to do is to become disciplined in your life. You don't have to live a mediocre life. You don't have to have mediocre friends, mediocre relationships. You do not. All of that is a choice that you make based on wherever you are in your life. I believe that everyone has the potential for greatness. All of us do, if we pursue that. Now, we all heard the old adage, nothing in life worth having comes easy. Of course, we're going to have to work for it. We're going to have to put effort into it. All the things that are necessary in order for you to achieve your goals. But with that being said, it is entirely up to you to how far you go. Everyone doesn't need 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 million dollars. Some people, hey, $1 million would be great for them, or 2 million. There's nothing wrong with being 100,000-aire where you're making hundreds of thousands of dollars as opposed to millions of dollars. The point being that you do not have to have a life of mediocrity. You do not have to have a life of that's not joyful, if you will. So how do we stop it? You must decide what you want to do. And let's not just focus on our financial improvement, but let's not be mediocre in our physical development. Let's not be mediocre in our mental development, our emotional fortitude. What I'm saying about a person being whole is that they're whole in every area of their life. Not just I'm sound financially, but I have great relationships with the individuals that are close to me. At the end of the day, the world we live in today's time, is not without its challenges. However, it is still a privilege to be alive. You know, a live dog is better off than a dead lion. We are all alive, and as long as you have breath in your body, you still have the chance or the opportunity to change your life. Now, your friends, your family, the individuals that are around you, usually what stop people from achieving their goals are two things and two things only: fear and the people who are close to them. Fear and the people that are close to you. Most people are afraid. They are afraid of failure. They are afraid of rejection. You got to just live your life without fear. You got to live your life without the fear of making a mistake, even if you're getting into the market, cryptos, whatever it is you do. You got to learn to grow from the things that you go through. I'm of the mindset that a lot of times rejection is protection. There's a hidden force behind all of our lives that most of us really don't talk about. Now, you can put it under the umbrella of religion, and that's fine for this podcast. But the force I'm talking about is the force that brought you into this world, and where you exist in this plane of existence, you're given your own mind, your free will, and your own consciousness to create or to develop anything you want. Unfortunately, you're distracted. Now, how do we keep you distracted? It's very simple. I'm going to keep you distracted through war, disease, economic fear, whatever I can do to keep you from connecting. Well, what am I connecting to, Mr. Johnson? Source, yourself. To keep you distracted, so you're watching TMZ or, I don't know, all the stuff we see on television that people sit around and they do a Netflix binge. All these things keep you distracted. None of these things are helping you. None of these things are benefiting you. I need you to really get that in your head. I really need everyone who's listening. What does it benefit you watching that? How is that empowering you? How is that moving your life in a particular direction? It is not. It's called entertainment. And that's what entertainment is, a distraction from reality. I'm going to distract you for 30 minutes, an hour, so you're not focused on your financial security. You're not focused on your well-being. I don't need you to connect and get you to understand the oneness and the divine power in which you possess to change your life. You know what's really interesting? How many people, as we are born into this society, for whatever reason, we grow up and we never ask the one most important, relevant question. Why am I here? Why do I exist? I'm not talking about where you come from and your mom and dad, but why do you exist? What is your purpose in this realm? What is your purpose in this dimension, in this existence? Even for my religious folks, does it not say that God's kingdom is not of this world? So that would imply, if we believe in the word of God, which I do, that there is another world beyond this one, the world in which we truly come from. And you are the gods according to that book. And if you are a God, then you have the ability to change your life. Now get Hollywood out of your head. I'm not saying you're making rain just fall out of the sky or you're raising someone from the dead. What I'm saying to you, as this ability, as this God, as this individual, as this divine soul that has the ability through thought, which is your imagination, through words, which is your vocal, and through expression, which is your emotion, your energy and motion. When one marries thought with emotion and vocalize it, you, my friend, are in the beginning of creation. Now the deal is, what are you creating? Do you really want a life of poverty? Do you really want a life filled with depression, anxiety, worry, fear, doubt, anger, bitterness? There are millions and billions of people, believe it or not, every day that wake up in this state of mind. Or you can choose. Believe it or not, you do have a choice. Choose ye this day. Blessings or curses. Life and death truly is in the power of your tongue. Now, what are you saying to yourself? Woe is me, I can't do it. I don't have the education. I don't have the financial wherewithal. I don't have the resources. I don't look good enough. I'm not tall enough. I'm not pretty enough. We tell ourselves many different things to give ourselves excuses to not performing at the level we know we should. You don't want to be 75 and 80 years old on your deathbed, and the only ones that are standing around you are all the dreams that you never fulfilled. When they look down upon you and you're looking back at them, that book you should have written, the restaurant you wanted to open, the business you should have started, and they're all looking at you as you're about to take your last breath, and you're looking back at them, and the tears fall down their face because they were given to you, and you, my friend, brother or sister, man or woman, you, my friend, lack the courage, the emotional fortitude, the due diligence to see it through. Why? Because you were afraid, or you let someone talk you out of it because they could not see the vision that was given to you. You are very special in the grand scheme of this existence. You're not here by accident. Regardless of wherever you are right now, if you're in the financial strait, I might be dealing with some health challenges. As long as you have breath and as long as you have life, you have something called hope. Now, hope is not necessarily a strategy, but it is something that can propel you and move you forward as you implement the strategies that are necessary to change your life. Just think about it. Are you really living the life you want, or are you living in a state of mediocrity? Are you living the life you want, or are you doing things that make you mediocre? It's your choice. Now, whether you need a cheerleading squad to motivate you or inspire you, we all need different things to help, which I understand. But at the end of the day, you have to have the emotional fortitude, the will, determination, the sheer force of mind to change your life. Last and not least, I want to end this podcast on this note. I thank you so much for your support, but I want people, when I look at the comments and the things that people say in response to the things that we post, hey, keep a good attitude. Keep your attitude in check. Attitude determines altitude. I'm going to say this to you again. Your attitude will determine your altitude. When I referenced earlier about connecting, I really want you to understand what I'm saying. You have the ability to see things in your mind. Ladies and gentlemen, we can see whatever we want with our imagination. We have the ability to feel things so much that if I be still and I think about a moment that makes me happy or sad, my body would physically respond through my emotions. Because I started crying because I thought about something sad, or I started laughing because I thought about something that made me happy. The point being is I need you to understand your emotions. Your emotions are the fuel, if you will, for the manifestation of whatever it is that you're desiring. Remember, wherever your intention is and you give that your intention attention, you'll see the manifestation of your intention. And the more emotion that you put behind it, the more you feel about it, the faster it will happen. You know, you must understand that our emotions play a crucial part in the development of our lives and where we wind up. Most people don't feel good. They don't feel well. I'm not necessarily talking about physically, but I'm talking about emotionally. Ask yourself, when you see someone, don't say, how are you doing? How are you doing today? Everyone's going to say the same thing. Oh, I'm okay, I'm fine. Ask them this instead. How is your state of mind? How is your state of mind today? Because the mind is the gateway to all that we want. You know, you're only given a short period of time. You don't have time to waste with indecision, being indecisive, worrying, being filled with fear. None of those things are going to bring about the things that you're wanting to have happen in your life. But I can assure you of this, that if you try and you give it your all, as a matter of fact, I don't even want to say try, do. If you do what you are supposed to do and you do it consistently enough, my friends, you will see the changes that you want in your life. Look at it this way. If you go to the gym and you started working out and you worked out for a week, you're not going to see rips of muscles and all this other stuff. You might not see much change at all, but it doesn't mean nothing's happening. Even though you can't see the change, you can feel the change because your arms are sore, your back is tight, your legs might be hurting. Just because you can't see the manifestation of what you're running right away does not mean it's not on its way. It doesn't mean it's not on its way to you. So I want you to be encouraged. I want you to be excited about your life. And listen, stop being distracted. Don't pay attention to what's going on in those other countries. They have nothing to do with you. Nothing. There's nothing you could do about it anyway. But what you can do is affect the ones that are around you, your little world, your little country, wherever part of the world you're in. I want to encourage you to meditate and to bring yourself into a position of calmness. Now, this is a lifetime journey. It's not like you're going to master this in the first day. But however, I will share this with you. I want to share this with you. If one can learn to calm their mind, calm your mind. This is very important. Step 1, calm your mind. Step 2, go inwardly. Well, what do I do to go inwardly? That's through meditation and prayer. Once you go and search inwardly for that which you were brought here to do, in other words, to find your purpose, once it's given to you through your imagination or through the voice that you will hear in your heart or in your soul, we all have it, it speaks to us. Once you have it, I want you to pursue it with everything you have. Don't give up. There will be bumps in the road, but every bump is just a lesson. It is something that you're to learn. As you move forward in your journey, and you might lose friends here or even family members, there's often something called a purging. A purge is things that no longer serve you. You must be aware that as your life changes, everything around you will change with it. And here's the basic answer to this question. Mr. Johnson, how do I change my life? It is real simple. I want you to pay very close attention to what I'm about to tell you. How do you change your life? It is simple, my friend. You have to change. I hope this message serves you well. I hope it encourages you. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. We love you. God bless. I'm Mr. Johnson with the Evolution Now podcast. Have a blessed and prosperous day.